Hey guys, and welcome back to my Star Wars The Clone Wars vlog series. Today I am talking about Season 1, Episode 3, Shadow of Malevolence. And the description is Anakin leads a strike on General Grievous' warship. Now, only now do I actually realize, oh, Malevolence, that's the name of the ship. Okay, makes sense now. The first thing I was struck with was the start of the episode. Grievous is coughing. Why is he coughing? He doesn't cough until Revenge of the Sith after, according to Gendy's Clone Wars series, Mace Windu injures him. Ah well, I guess I'll have to let that slide and just accept that canon has been rewritten or something. I don't know. But he only coughs for like a short amount of time, like just two coughs. I was just like, where'd that come from, you know? Um, the thing about this episode is that I was like, a lot of these conversations, a lot of this dialogue, a lot of this music is strangely familiar. And I 100% believe that it was the episode that I first watched that was recorded on VHS back in the day. Like, as in, I wasn't able to tune into it, and so had family just go ahead and DVR it or whatever. Yeah, I think I've actually seen, I think this was the one episode I saw back in the day. The one that didn't impress me whatsoever and just felt off, and I'm like, I don't need to waste my time watching this show. Um, so again, like, also because it is a very episodic show with like little, like, for example, right now I'm in the middle of a 3 episode arc that's about this ship, this separatist ship. And like, first you see Anakin being like, all right, here's a plan. We're going to bomb um the the bridge and destroy Grievous. And I'm just like, yeah, good luck with that. We still have Revenge of the Sith, you know. Like, good plan, but everyone else who's seen the movies know that that's not gonna work. Everyone, like, pretty much everyone dies. Like, they lose almost the entire squadron, and but they saved the medical facility, so that's what counts. The lives saved outweighs the number of losses. Like, whatever, they damaged the ion cannon, and Grievous is forced to retreat. Like, all right, ta-da, but I mean, it was, like, again, it was an episode that I'm like, okay, it's cookie cutter. Still doesn't really impress me very much. It was cool and made a lot of sense to see a Kaminoan man, like, being the head of the medical center. I mean, the Kaminoans are the ones who made the clones. They would know more than anyone about how to help them. And of course, the rest of it is manned by other clones. I mean, that's their brothers. That's them. They would know more about what the clones need for help than anyone else too. And then there's probably droids. But yeah, I was like, oh, there's a Kaminoan. That actually makes a ton of sense for a medical facility. But the Kaminoan herself was, and that's the thing. Like, it's 3 episodes in, and the animation is still extremely stiff and off-putting to me. Like, the art style is still blah. Like, the large eyes don't really work well for a lot of the characters. Like, certain characters would look a lot better if they had smaller eyes. Like, big eyes, okay, they work for Ahsoka because she's bright and colorful and, a female character, whatever. But it's like the animation's very stiff. The Kaminoan was very, like, just stiff, like more stiff than the Kaminoans in Attack of the Clones ever were. and a very boring voice, and the cuts to her back to the action were like really weird. It was like strangely jarring. I'm just like, oh, that was awkward. That was an awkward cut. They didn't put any effort into her, you know. And then you had Ahsoka, which Anakin calls snips. Like, was that something from the movie? Because I did watch the movie back in the day, but I don't remember anything about it besides Ahsoka was annoying, and there was the weird hut baby. Um, and so he calls her snips. Like, I don't know where that came from. Is it because she's snippy? Because he constantly is talking about how she's always like having something to say and whatever. And it's like, yeah, Ahsoka is having to comment on literally everything. And it's bugging the hell out of me. I'm like, girl, just shut it. I know. You're a kid. You're a young Padawan. You want to prove yourself. You have all these thoughts and stuff. But when she's commenting on literally every single thing happening in a given scene, like when they're going through the nebula and there's the space rays and all that, like she can't stop commenting on everything, and it's like, you know, I get it, that's your character, but I don't want that to just be your state of being for these next few seasons. Like, I hear that Ahsoka becomes a lot more likable and grows as a character, but for now it's like she's the cute running commentator, basically. I'm like, I don't need that. I had enough of that with other TV shows that I've watched throughout my life, where there's that one character who's just like, I mean, like, for example, like I've watched anime, like I've watched like um Naruto back when it was on Toonami. I gave up on that show too, but you got the characters who are like, all right, now let's ask about everything that's happening, and then you have someone else explain it, like that kind of mentality. And it's like Ahsoka is just she's like Sakura, where she's like asking questions about everything. It's just like, shut. Yeah, I can tell that getting to like Ahsoka is going to be really hard, especially before I get to the seasons that people say are actually good. Um, and okay, that was only the real notes I wrote. But like long story short, they saved the day. We do see that Anakin did make a bad decision because he's like, yeah, let's bomb it. And then the mission's going haywire, the squadron is getting decimated. And they do actually attempt to like actually avoid the big circular like blast of energy coming from the ion cannon. Like, oh, finally trying like but then like in Star Wars fashion, actual physics don't mean anything, because when one of the ships breaks up, it falls down. No, like it would just start like floating listlessly. It wouldn't fall down because there is no down in space. Like, yeah, you would feel G's pressing against you if you're accelerating to get out of the way of something. I doubt that the ships have any sort of like the actual fighters have any sort of like gravity in it. So you would feel, I mean, you would feel G's, but you wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going up, because there is no up. And yeah, and like the way one ship that gets broken apart that bounces against the hull of the Malevolence is like, you're not in an atmosphere. I mean, like, yeah, I know stuff can bounce around in space, but anyway, I'm nitpicking now. But it's just, it never ceases to amuse me when like fictional shows or movies set in space do those kinds of mistakes. That's why I have really loved um, like Interstellar, First Man, Gravity, like these movies that try to at least portray space in a more realistic manner. I mean, there's always the whole like, oh, it's entertainment kind of factor. You gotta make it cool, but I'm also kind of, it's like, whatever. That was just a minor complaint because I don't really have too much to say about this episode besides Ahsoka was annoying with her constant commentating on every action and everything that was happening, and you saw that Anakin did make a bad decision, and he only then went to plan B grudgingly because you could see it on his face that he was just like, no, we gotta go and bomb Grievous, and then he relents and changes the plan upon Ahsoka and Plo Koon's the suggestions. So it's like, okay, at least we're still getting the Anakin that I know of, the one who is very driven, one-sided, one. No, sorry, like very narrow vision sometimes, and um, kind of like win at all costs kind of thing. Um, so at least there are aspects of him that are staying true to what I know. Um, but yeah, there's not really much to say about that episode. I will then move on to the next episode, which, by the sound of the title, will be the conclusion of this Malevolence uh, storyline. So I will let you know what I think about it in the next video. Catch you all later.